Hi guys, welcome to my kitchen. Happy New Year to everybody. It seems like I haven't been here forever, but it's actually been a week. But I've had a wonderful Christmas. The restaurant's been busy, but nothing brings me more happiness and joy than actually cooking with you guys. So I'm really super happy to be back. I got my cup of coffee here, going. So I hope everybody can hear me. I have the microphone on, and I am ready to start cooking. Today we are going to make chicken Marsala meatballs, and they're going to be an orzo pasta, and it's going to have that delicious Marsala sauce with it. But then on top of it, we're going to put a melted gruyere cheese and put it in the oven. It's called El Forno in Italian, and that just puts this dish over the top. It is so delicious. I can't wait to cook with you guys. It's super good. So I've got all my ingredients out. I'm going to turn the camera this way a little bit. Okay. All right, I'm going to turn my camera here a little bit here so you guys can see everything. Don't be overwhelmed with all the pots that I have, because I have a pot here for the orzo pasta. Then I have one to saute mushrooms, and then I have one to fry the meatballs though. But it all comes together in one pot in the oven, so don't worry about it. I have all of my ingredients out here, and I actually have this fruit bowl. That's not for the dish. Actually, this is for Pepe. He eats his way through the day, so he's already nudging me. Yes, I'll show you guys him in a little while, but if you see me just take a piece of fruit every once in a while and just bring it down, that's because he's sitting at my feet nudging me for it. So he just had a little bit of a surgery, a little bit of a male situation, which is taken care of. So he's on the mend and doing well. Okay, so in this pot back here, I have a boiling pot of water, and I'm going to put in some orzo pasta. Now, orzo pasta almost looks like rice a little bit, and it's great in soups as like a filler. So if I showed you what it looks like here, see, that's it. And we use it in soups just to fill up, like instead of big, bulky noodles. It's really great. But for this recipe today, we're only going to use half of the box, which is half a pound. This is 1 whole pound here, and it takes like 9 to 10 minutes to cook. So we're going to pour that in the water, and we're going to let it go. And then by the time that's done, everything else is going to come together. That's one of the things that you want to do when you're cooking, is you want to make sure everything comes together at the same time. So you have to think, how long does my pasta take? Do I cook it before? How long is my vegetables? Today we have vegetables that are sauteing up that are super simple, and they saute very quickly. So in this pot I have turned on also, I have it on medium, and I'm just going to put 2 turns around with my olive oil. And then, let's see. Okay, that's good. And I'm going to put in a shallot. Now, I like to use a shallot because Pepe, stop. He's relentless. I'm sorry, guys. He won't stop until he gets food. Okay. I like to use a shallot because it has a little bit of a more mild flavor than like a bold onion, because you don't want to take away from that sweet Marsala taste in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put my shallots in this pan. I already went ahead and chopped them up ahead of time just to save some time today, because we do have a few steps. And just in case I didn't tell you what we're making, we are making chicken Marsala meatballs with orzo. So you might say, ooh, chicken meatballs. That's the first thing my husband said when I told him it was chicken meatballs. He was like, oh, no, I don't like chicken meatballs. But they're really super good and healthy for you. Okay, so I have my shallot going in that pan, and I'm just going to let that kind of soften down a little bit. And as it gets going, I'll add some salt and pepper to it, because the salt will like draw the moisture out of it and make it cook a lot quicker. So in this bowl now, we're going to get going with our meatballs. And I have 1 pound of chicken breast here, and it's just like the ground chicken breast. So I put that in the bowl, simple enough. And into it goes a half a cup of panko breadcrumbs. So this is just like you were making regular meatballs. So in goes the panko, and then 1 egg. And I gotta say, I love these eggs. My friends came over Christmas morning, and they have, here, Pep. My friends came over Christmas morning, and they have chickens. And so she brought me over a dozen eggs, and they are so good. So this is the last little one I had left, so I said, let me just put it in here. Nice and rich. The yolks are bright golden, like yellow, almost like my apron. They're beautiful. So we're going to put 1 egg in, and everyone knows that when you make a meatball, when you put the egg in, it binds it together. So it helps stay together. So we have that in there. Now we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of milk. So let me just get that out. I have a little bit of milk. Pepe, stop now. I have a little bit of milk in here, and it's just 2 tablespoons of milk. And then 1 tablespoon of Marsala. So Marsala is a cooking wine, and it can be either sweet or dry. And for our Marsala at the restaurant, we like sweet. We like that flavor that it brings out when you cook it down and you put it with like chicken and veal. It's really super good. It's one of our best sellers. Marsala comes from the Marsala region in Sicily, and it's just so well known over there. It's used in a lot of desserts, and also because we use it in our tiramisu, believe it or not. This gives it that extra special flavor. Besides having to enhance it with sugar, you use a sweet Marsala wine and it comes out great. So it's just 1 tablespoon right now into the chicken mixture. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix this all together. And don't let me forget salt and pepper. I always do that. I'm not a huge salt and pepper salt user anyway. So salt and pepper. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and get my shallots salted and give them a little bit of pepper as well. Let me turn this up, get them going, because we're going to put our mushrooms in there next. So our pasta is cooking. Our shallots are cooking down, and we have everything mixed up here for the meatballs. And we're going to get these going. Now, you don't want to overwork the mixture because then they become tough. So we're just going to basically turn them around a few times with this. You can use your hands if you want to. I'm not going to today just because I've been feeding him fruit and stuff. So I'm just going to use a little bit of a spatula here. And this is basically what it should look like. You know, you don't want to put in so much ingredients here that you don't taste the chicken flavor, because this is a very mild meatball. So everything's there. So now I've got my heat turned up on the meatballs. I've got my heat turned up in here. And yep, there we go. Everything's going. So now I'm going to take like a little 1-inch scoop here. This could be like a cookie scooper. You can, do little mini muffins with this. It's just great, this little scooper. And it's actually perfect for the size of the meatballs that we're going to use. So after you put it in your hand, you basically don't want to play with it too much. Just put it in the oil and it gets it's already going good. And this is honestly probably going to make about, believe it or not, about 20 meatballs. If you wanted to make them bigger, that you could, Pepe, stop, that hurts. If you wanted to make them bigger, you could. But for this dish with the orzo, and it's going into the oven and everything, I like to keep them small like this. These are the little meatballs that we make for like Italian wedding soup, And I'm just dropping them in. I'm going to move this bowl in a minute so that you guys can see. And you don't want to overcrowd your pan, because then it will bring the temperature down and they'll get soggy instead of crispy. And I'm going to turn them down, get this going. So I got a couple things going. I've got the pasta here, which that's going to cook in a few minutes. And in this pan I have my shallots, and they're nice and soft already. And then over here I've got my Marsala meatballs. So I've got 3 things going on. So now I'm going to add over here one of these containers of mushrooms. So if you like a lot of mushroom, you can add them. If you don't want any mushroom at all, you don't have to. Mushroom and Marsalas goes together pretty much hand in hand. But we do have people sometimes that don't like the mushroom. My daughter, Abby, has a mushroom allergy, so she can't have them. But I'm going to put them in here, and we're going to get that going. And mushrooms cook down really fast, especially when you put salt on them, because it draws out the moisture and they cook down fast. So we're going to get those going. And now I'm going to try to turn my meatballs just a tiny bit and see how they're going. And they're already getting browned on there. It smells so good in here. It reminds me of my Nana's meatballs. She used to fry her meatballs, and I loved it. And so I've always done the same thing. I fry my meatballs, and then I just kind of finish them off in the sauce. All right. So once we have our meatballs finished, we're going to put them right into this pan with the mushrooms and the shallots. And we're not going to cook these all the way through. They're going to cook fast though, because they're really light meat, really light chicken. And I see the orzo is almost done. And as these mushrooms are cooking down, you want to just keep stirring them around. We didn't put a lot of oil in here because we don't want an oily sauce. We just wanted to brown them up, which they're doing really, really quickly. Some of these mushrooms are a lot bigger than here than others, so you might want to just go through and cut them down. I love mushrooms. I love them raw. I love them cooked. So the more mushrooms, the better for me. Okay, and now while these are cooking, you want to put the Marsala wine sauce in. So we have them in the meatball, but we're also going to put them into the sauce, and that's what's going to give you that great saucy flavor. So we're going to use a half of a cup of Marsala. I'm just going to measure out a half here. And again, this is a sweet. You can buy it right in the liquor store. We get ours from a vendor. Now, as you're putting this in here, you might say, well, this is alcohol. I don't want to use it. This alcohol is burning off right now. So as it's cooking and it's going up in the steam, the alcohol from it is going out of it, and you're just going to be left with that really rich flavor, which is out of this world. Okay, so to this, I want to add a little bit of sage. Now, this sage and chicken go really, really well together. Whenever I think of sage, I think of Thanksgiving. That's just it reminds me of that Bell's seasoning. So this is the flavoring that I want in there. I want that deep, hearty flavor. Pepe, you are being such a bad boy today. I miss my tracker, my Rocky. Got to get them back over here. We've got a lot of nice aprons for them to wear, a lot of new bandanas that were sent to us from people. So pretty they are, so I can't wait to get the boys back over here. They're going to be handsome. I'm going to add the sage into the mushroom and the shallot mixture here, and that's just going to draw out more flavor. Okay, these meatballs are done. As you see, whoop, pop right on me. Look how beautiful they are. And that's what you want, that nice golden color. So I'm going to stick them right in here as they're done. We're going to transfer them over right into this pan. And I'm going to add a few more in here. Just keep cooking this around. Going to add a couple more to it. Like I said, this is honestly going to make about 20 meatballs. So you're going to have, this is a dish that you might say, well, this doesn't look like enough food for my family. It is. It really is. So, and this is, I do have in my cookbook, I actually have the recipe for the Marsala meatballs in there. But I didn't have the orzo with it, and I didn't bake it with the gruyere cheese. I just kind of kicked it up a little bit of a notch. So this is a really good dish that you guys are going to love. Okay, so I put a few more in. We're just going to finish those up. We're going to try to get everything together, and I want to show you how it does come together. Now, while this is also cooking down, the Marsala, we're going to put in 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, and that's going to give it that really creamy consistency. So delicious. A lot of people don't like to put cream with their Marsala, but that's how we serve it at the restaurant. We do it with ours is a cream base. A lot of people ask us that, so that's definitely how we make ours. Okay, so I'm stirring this all around. It's getting all incorporated. It smells so good, guys. So, so good. We're going to let that go. I've got flipping these meatballs here. Now, by the time you finish like all these meatballs, I still have probably about 10 more meatballs to go in here. This is going to be a huge dish. All right, these are all flipped over. These aren't going to be completely cooked through when you take them out of here, but they're cooking as they're in this pan. And don't forget, they're going back in the oven again. Okay, this looks so good already. So the last little bit I'm going to add to this is some spinach. And this is just spinach right out of the bag. It's already been washed. These are really, really handy. This is baby spinach. Again, if you don't want to add it, don't add it if you don't like it, but I like it. And I actually add a little bit more than you would think because spinach cooks down really, really small. Here, Pep. Want an apple? He's doing so good, guys. He's really, what a great pet. If you've never thought of having a pig for a pet, he's incredible. He really is. Okay, so these meatballs are almost done. Just gonna have some coffee here. I'm going to turn the heat down on this because it's basically done. We're just going to put our meatballs in here, strain them out, take that off the heat because I'm not going to do any more. And then we're going to stir this all together I could smell the Marsala. The more it cooks like that, the richer the flavor gets on it. It's just incredible. So that, now I'm going to add my orzo to it. So when I did my other one, I did it, yes, I made one like 2 days ago, I think. I always have to try my recipes out first because I always like to make sure that they taste good. I don't want to send you guys with recipes that are awful. I'm going right from the pot into here. And pasta water is like liquid gold. A lot of people think that you have to strain it and take it out. But actually, when you have a sauce like this, that starchy water makes this sauce in here so much more velvety. It's delicious. So I've pretty much strained all the orzo out of here. Turn that one off. We're going to mix this all around. And I'm going to pull it off of the flame for a minute just because I want to show you guys what it looks like. I mean, you could actually eat this as is right now. We're going to just let the meatballs cook a little bit more. But if you didn't want to put it in the oven, you could eat it as is. But it's so good in the oven with the cheese. It just takes it up a notch. Now, you would preheat your oven to 400, and it's going to cook for about 15 to 20 minutes because you just want the cheese to get browned on it. I'm hoping you guys can see this because it smells so good. Okay, so we've got in here the mushrooms, the shallots. We've got the spinach. We've got the chicken meatballs that have Marsala in them. We have Marsala wine sauce in the orzo. The last thing we're going to do is, I've already shredded gruyere. If you don't have gruyere, you could use like a mild cheddar. You just want that little bit of a salty bite that goes on the top of it because we have the sweet Marsala and the salty cheese, and it goes really well together. So we're just going to spread that on the top like this, and then it's going to go in the oven, like I said, for like 15 to 20 minutes. I'm a cheesy person, so I'm just going to load this up. Load it. Load it. There. And then it just goes in the oven, like I said, 15, 20 minutes. You want that golden brown on the top. And I'm going to show you, I actually have it done. So it would go in the oven, and I actually have one here. And you can see it's all cooked now. I have it's got the spinach, the meatballs. I've got some of the cheese and the mushrooms. And my son, I came home from work the other day, and my son loved it so much, he almost ate the whole pot. It's really good. Like, I can taste the Marsala, which is a little bit sweet. And then the mushrooms are loaded with it. Everything just comes together. The meatballs are very tender, and they're nice and light inside. So this is a really good dish. Great for the family. It makes a lot. Look at this pot. And I didn't even finish all of the meatballs. I'm going to probably finish them and shove them back in there. You guys, chicken Marsala meatballs and the cream sauce is absolutely to die for. So give it a try. It's a great one-pot meal. Let me see if I can show you guys Pepe a little bit now. Let me get a little thing here. I'm going to bring it down here. Hey, Pepe. Say hi, Pep. Say hi, Pep. All he wants is fruit. All he wants is fruits and veggies. He's food driven. So you guys have a great day. Happy New Year. And we'll talk to you guys soon.